Hi, this is Sue for Parkies and Me, My Journey with Parkinson's. Title today, Be a Legend in Your Own Lunchtime, which is a bit of a strange one, but it was a saying that we used to have when we were children. Rather than be a legend in your own lifetime, be a legend in your own lunchtime. Sounds far less self-important. So, I've started this blog quite recently, maybe only a few months ago. I've lost track of exactly when. But I've been doing a blog for 4 years, shortly after I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And it's been wonderful. I've had lots of really good comments about how I've helped people. And I started that blog to help people, but also to help myself, to give myself a sense of purpose, to take something out of this condition that we've all been landed with, and to make something worthwhile out of it. Now, I've started interviewing some people on my podcast, and I've interviewed a very lovely lawyer called Louise a couple of times now, and she's been amazing, and it's great to have her support with information about legal things that are useful to know, like wills and enduring power of attorney. I also have a good friend who works at Age Concern, and she is going to talk about their services, and including their elder abuse contract and how they can help people. So these are some quite important people, but mostly they are just amazing, lovely women who, like me, want to help others. So I put a bit of a call out on my blog to ask if anybody wanted to be interviewed for this podcast. Now, I said mostly for people that have followed mostly for people who have followed my blog, because they know my backstory. They know who I am and will be on board with why I want to do this. You know, there's the likes of Michael J. Fox, who's very public about his journey with Parkinson's, and he's amazing. He's my hero. He's done so much good for people with Parkinson's. And Billy Connolly and so many well-known people that have Parkinson's and have been interviewed, have written books, have done a lot for Parkinson's to raise awareness and raise funds. But I want to hear from people like me, people like you, ordinary people who are living their lives with Parkinson's. Excuse me. So I'll give you a little bit of a background on me. So I have been a social worker for 20 years. I've just retired after 11 years in a brain injury role. After 11 years in a hospital role. And in that time I've supported people who have had strokes and degenerative diseases. So that's been my life's work, has been looking after others in similar circumstances to that which I find myself. Both my parents had Parkinson's, so from a family perspective, a carer perspective, I have that background as well. And I started my blog as a way to help myself get through this, and also with a view to helping others. Now, like I said, the podcast has only been much newer, so it's just getting off the ground. And I know some people have podcasts, so they want to be an influencer. I hardly even know what that is. They want to be well known, they want to be famous, they want to make money. None of those things interest me at all. What I want is to reach people and to share our stories. And that's one of the reasons why I will still do my blog, but I wanted to do the podcast because, sorry, my voice is getting emotional. I wanted to do the podcast because I could interview people and hopefully reach more people. Like I said, I have no interest in making money from this. And I think that's important that people know that. those who know me from the beginnings, from the start of my podcast, will know that about me, will know that I just want to help people. And by helping others, I help myself. I've always wanted to help people using my lived experience. Now, my second marriage was not a healthy one. And when I left that marriage, I needed to heal. And I sat at my kitchen table, and I thought to myself, I could take away from that marriage one of two things. I could be a victim or I could be a survivor. I chose to be a survivor. I chose to learn from that experience, and I chose to help others because of that experience, so that they didn't feel as alone, as I had. So, yes, I've put the call out now to you, the people who might be listening to this podcast, to see if you might be interested, any of you, in telling your story. And I'm not going to dig deeply into your lives if that's not what you want. I would provide you with an outline of questions, and you could look at those questions and say yes to 3 of them, no to 12 of them. Not that I could probably think up 12, but I want to get the real story behind our journeys. I want to share that with anybody that listens to this podcast. I think hearing other people who are just ordinary people, not Michael J. Fox, bless him, who's my legend, not Billy Connolly, who I think is amazing, just people who aren't famous, who aren't rich, who aren't well known, but who deserve to have their voices heard. So if you're interested, just if you will place a comment on this podcast and tell me if you're interested. I would love to hear from you. I think there is strength in hearing from people who are just like you. We may have different skin colour, we may speak different native languages, we may be in different countries. But those of us that are interested in these sorts of podcasts are, for the main, people who are directly affected by Parkinson's, by loving somebody with Parkinson's, by living with somebody with Parkinson's, or by being somebody with Parkinson's. We all have that core truth, that lived experience, that we are affected by Parkinson's. I hope to hear from some of you, and I would love to touch base with anyone that's happy to share their story so that we can all learn from each other. This has been Sue, whose voice has gone a bit wobbly with emotion today. For Parkies and me, my journey with Parkinson's. Kia kaha. Be brave. Be strong. Be you. Bless you all.